dwells within the spirit. Try to embrace all that you are.
Experience the euphony of suffering.
Come and join in my dream world.
Nothing can withstand the withering. Against the endless erosion, my strength grew weaker by the day. I will choose my own path.
Power dwells within the spirit. Try to embrace all that you are.
The battlefield. Smash them!
Shake
Double kill. Red team turret has been destroyed. Blue team turret has been destroyed. Blue team turret has been destroyed. Red team hero has been destroyed. Double kill. Shut down. Double kill. Blue team hero has been slain. Mega kill. Blue team hero has been slain. Red team has slain the turtle. Red team hero has been slain.
Lanes crash, towers fall, and echoes shake the ground.
Red team hero has been slain. Spree. Double kill. Red team turret has been destroyed.
step is earned. One more fight, one last stand. step is earned. One more fight, one last stand. Let the whole learn. Heartbeat sinking with the drums. Rise up, fighters one. Winter showdown has begun. No fear, no retreat. Only legends take the seat. Stand tall, make your play. Champions are born.
Red team turret has been destroyed. Red team has slain the Lord. Blue team hero has been slain. Blue team hero has been slain.
Monster kill!
Blue team base turret has been destroyed.
Double kill! Victory!
Nothing can withstand the withering. Against the endless erosion, my strength grew weaker by the day.
True power dwells within the spirit. Try to embrace all that you are. True power dwells within the spirit. Try to embrace all that you are.
Among the planes exists the equilibrium.
Fight! Fight for the ultimate answer!
Nothing
Welcome
can
to my
withstand the
castle,
withering.
my friend.
Against the endless erosion, my strength grew weaker by the day.
True power dwells within the spirit. Try to embrace all that you are.
Valor and royalty in a dead body.
And gentlemen, but before that I want to introduce you to this tournament so far that we have. This is gonna be the Winter Showdown Series #1, and of course this is gonna be the semifinals, and the first time we'll be seeing at the best of 3 series for both of these teams. We have Leaf Esports going against Peak, and this is gonna be the second match so far, so let's see how the bans are gonna be set in, because this time around I think Leaf Esports, they have already have their bans in to their side, because you can see the Sora, the Eve, and the Grok are taken away. Leomord, Hilda, and Jushin. Of course, the other 3 heroes that's gonna be removed right now. I know that the Leomord can eventually be a little bit of a target ban, but then again, I think it's not really much of a hero that you want to ban into the first phase. It's like you kind of want to ban into the second phase, but nevertheless, I think the Sora is already here, so let's see how it goes, because now they I think Leaf have the first win onto their side, so that is gonna be something we need to focus on as well, because this is gonna be their match point right now. But hey, before that, let me introduce myself, guys. It's gonna be me casting for you today, Debbie, and I'm gonna be casting together with Sarah. So Sarah, are you there?
Yep. Hello, and welcome back to the semi-finals, if I'm not wrong. And this is going to be Leaf Esports versus Team Peak. And I think Peak got a full lineup today, and we will be seeing their substitute into the lineup. So maybe Leaf Esports are having a 4-leafed clover day tonight, and they could possibly try and win this out and proceed to the grand finals.
Definitely, this is they are just one step away from trying to get out the championship, so they are gonna be so ready, because like we already know, even it was not live, they already won the first match, so this is gonna be their match point. So if they win once more, it's definitely gonna be their ticket to the grand finals. But looking at the band so far, the picks so far, Hwamin, he's gonna be directly picking onto the Yi Shinxin. Two very expensive picks coming through already for the side of Team Pick, because Carry and Yi Shinxin together, there's something you don't use at easy, but I really want to see how it works out, because the first side is already there, so I don't know how the Carry and the Yi Shinxin will be able to work out. But onto the other side, though, I think they really wanted to play out the lane slot. It's so early.
That's exactly, well, there's gonna be a lot of counters. Like, I understand the Lancelot pick against the Yi Shin, but then you are giving away something like Phobius against an Arlong plus a Lancelot, and then they could just go in for something like the Kufra, maybe into the Rome, or they could just go in for one of those
I
setup
am not
teams
the
who
only one
can
bound by
annoy the
these
last of the
chains.
jungle in the early game, especially way too much.
Yep, I think this is a very solid pick coming through from the side of Pick here. No one will be onto the Phobias. Very good here. So for Peak now, they can remove out the tanky utilities here because they already okay. They can also eventually remove out the marksmans too. If the Claude, if they want to take away the Claude, that can also be a big option because yeah, also the Freya is also out there. If Claverian plays the Freya, they can eventually ban that hero out because no matter what the situation is gonna be, that hero always wins somehow. But you know, it's kind of like very weird to see this kind of draft here because they are not really sticking to the meta. Look at that. They ban out the pick off heroes, the Kalea together with the Kaza. There's no combination for the carry already.
That's exactly what they will need, something like the God of Kacha or maybe the Tigreal to go in for those setups because or maybe the Jawhead at the best case, but other than that,
Oh,
you really need one of the, see, the God of Kacha is also taking up the board,
oh.
so what exactly are they planning for the roam is the big question here. Minotaur is taken away as well. Judging from like the fact that it's Kitty onto the roam this time,
Mm-hmm.
it's quite possible she goes in for something like a support. So
A support.
maybe, yeah, maybe that's a possibility. Or if Savage Warrior is the one going into Rome, then she could be the mate. I don't know. It's just a switch up of things for the side of Team Peak. A bit unfortunate, but I think they should be fine. But Leaf Esports will also be giving their very best. And for now, the Rome option that they can pick up, I think, is the Tigreal. That's a very valid choice along with the Arlot. They could try for the Akai. They could also go in for something like the Jawhead just to get those nitty bitty pickoffs
Mm-hmm.
anytime on the map.
I think they have been so focused on what to pick as a pick off. So I think yeah, the toe can definitely be a good combination together with the Yishin as well as carry, more so for the carry rather than the Yishin. So they kind of need to have a bit of a utility into the mid lane side here against the fire side. The Zichen can also be completely used here for the side of Peak. But then again, Leaf, I think they need a good setup for the team here. A better re-engagement, and I think they also need a damage onto the hands of Claverian here because I don't think the damage coming through for the first and the early stages of the game is going to be enough because for the side of Peak they already have two late game scaling heroes and they kind of want to match up with that because if they don't, I think they might have to suffer into the later part of the game as well. And I think it could have been better if they have a tank that can go for the sats rather than the Hylos, because I feel like he will be getting melted all the time though.
That's going to be a major problem in the late game, especially because of the carry and the ascension right there. But we will have to see though how they make it work because for now the side of Team Leaf they have a pretty decent route. But if here
Mhm.
Savage Warrior decides to look in onto the Kimi, then the Hylos is in big trouble here. I mean, the Farsa does work out against the Kimi, but then the front line itself is going to be affected quite a lot.
Yeah, this is why it's actually very important to have a balance of lineups here because I feel like a Kimi would be too much overcooked. Yeah, you can. Yeah, that's a Z10 that I was actually banking on, because they already have so much damage into the carry with the Lee now as well. And yeah, they need a little bit of a disengager or a reinitiator here, and the G10 works really well with that. And in comparison to the Farsight, also see kind of met up into the clearance as well. And there's also gonna be always the Fury of the Phoenix available all the time when it is needed to try to cancel out most of the ultimates coming through from the side of Leaf. So that's a very good close onto the draw for the side of Peak. But then again, they are going to be so dependent on what kind of pickoffs that Kitty will be able to bring with the show. This is what they have to focus on yet again. But onto the other side of Leaf, they do have a good late game right now with the Moskov, but I don't know. The Moskov and the carry, if you compare it together, the carry is always going to be faster into the clearance, and of course, he's going to be able to rotate much easier because I feel like the Moskov, even with the Trinity, does not really hurt that much. He's going to be needing at least a start penetration so that he'll be able to get out the lane on time.
That's what the Claude would have been a better choice, but before that, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the land of Dawn. This is going to be the second game of the day, and like the second game of the first best of 3. And for now, if I'm not wrong, Peak has 1 point, is it? Into the first game.
Leaf did Leaf.
Oh my. Okay, it's Leaf who has the first point. So Peak will have to definitely work hard enough if they want to win this one and move towards the finals. At least play for the tiebreaker third game. But for now, very risky. But we'll see which team comes out on top because both junglers have started off on the same side of the jungle. So the Yes and Shin will actually be moving to the blue later after the red buff.
This is kind of a classic rotation style coming from Hwamin. Most of the time you see him doing this, delaying quite a bit and starting for the small buff tier so that he will be able to reach on time. But then again, I think this kind of rotation only can be pulled off if you have a good mid lane control, and I think they do have that top lane though. Look at that, a flicker already wasted by no one.
That's why a lot of pressure being provided onto the Moses because they know that if Sar gets a bit of an edge onto that R lot, he should be able to make those play during the team fights, and they actually need to make the plays as well because it's Zacian into the other side who needs to be controlled quite a lot, and that's exactly going to be the team fight win condition for the side of Leaf, while for the side of Team Peak, they need to play around the carry and the usage should wait for them to farm out because then their late game should be settled.
Yeah, this is why they have a very expensive buff that's kind of dependent onto the scaling potential here. But looking at the position of Leaf so far, they might want to focus onto the gold lane here rather than trying to rotate onto the top for the turtle here. But I think they'll definitely be there on time. But look at that though.
Definitely see the first blood being secured. That's the power of the mountain shopper for you. But now Homie is gonna get caught quite a lot. Oh my god. Good interrupt coming in from the chill right away, and Risa will be taken down right before the first turtle of the game.
We're sailing into the early stages of the game, and now this is definitely going to be a free turtle for the side of Peak here. And of course, the Eastern Shin, when he have that first turtle, he can do very, very amazing stuff with the damage that he will be able to provide. Look at the kick.
Oh, good way of the dragon coming in, and Zacian will be using the way of Phoenix. And now we will have to see Riza try to be forced away from his blue buff. He will have to go ahead for the red. Worse, he has to recall because there's a resetting cooldown, which means that Ramin gets an easy secure onto those small creeps up top, and the Lancelot will be denied of that farm even more.
Yeah, and he's going to be actually so behind level 4, and by the time Hwamin is so ready to take all those objectives, he's going to be always 2 levels behind because now that's going to be losing out onto the blue buff again, and the red is going to be the only thing that he's able to take Reza. No level 4 just yet for Unseen. Now he's going to be getting it only now. That is the advantage of the turtle that we're talking about. Even the Roma kind of benefits onto that, especially your gold laner as well. But now I think Kitty just trying to give a little bit of a piece in here, not able to get any kick on top, but Sar, that was a 2v1, right? So another kill into the hands of Hwamin, so he's on the killing spree now.
Definitely a very good early lead coming in for that Jason Jin. He should be having a very smooth game from here. But this also means that the carry is going to get his items faster as compared to Moscow. So that's even worse for the side of Team Leaf because the high loss will not be able to sustain once Eden picks up on the Trinity. And that's just going to make things worse for the Farsa as well as the Lancelot and Moscow. Because no frontline means those heroes can't really do much in a team fight.
Yeah, and Moskov is the kind of hero that once you just stand into the front line, do not let him get touched, and he's gonna have to have that free hit, and I don't think anyone will be giving him that, but mid lane though, look at that.
Yep, you can see the further airstrike being pulled off, but Unseen has already been taken down. That's the power of the nerf that comes in from the mid game onwards, but these people, it's still early and they are playing it out anyways, and now the Lancelot again is in danger. He's being evaded way too much, which means Rami, again, he's getting a free turtle. The second turtle is going to go into the hands of Peak again.
this is a 2-3 turret already into the hands of a Yi Xuanxin, and of course it's gonna be able to have a good lead, and the damage is gonna be set into. And now there's also a fact that he's able to get a lot of creeps and buffs too. So this is also the big reason why he's able to have good level lead against the Lancelot too. One turret down up to the top lane, so they might want to focus onto the mid or bottom lane yet again. A Kitty just giving out a lot of reason, just showing out a pathway for the side of Leaf, and I don't think they have anything to do about it. The good turning coming through, and they'll be able to get that turret once again. Everything is looking good for the side of Peak here. If they want to go for the fights, whatever fight they might instigate on, they will be winning it out because they have lots of gold, meaning lots of items.
Exactly so, and now as we can see, Team Peak is already on a 0-6 lead and a 6,000 goal lead as well. So now the map control is going to be in their hands. All they need to do is take down the tier 1 onto the
Oh.
mid side, but they are pressuring the gold much more than we would have expected. Look at that, look at the Chogo definitely trying to get the jump in, but that's not really going to work out because his kick was a little bit too late under the turret, and should be a kill secure.
Oh.
Okay. But yeah, it's just a little too much over pressure. But no one though, there's nobody really who can melt Bovius here. He will be the one to the rest of them. A 1-for-2 trade in favor of Team Peak. So technically, Peak wins out in this team fight and also gives away Team
Yep, they got a turret, they got a kill, and they got 2 kills by the way, and that is definitely going to be their lead, that they will be putting it consistently. And I mean, I don't think he really cares if he gets caught or not, because he's always going to be having the trades that's most of the time, and I don't think he will be getting taken down by any of the members of the side of Leaf here because they are so behind under the goal. They don't have the items necessary, and worst case scenario, Eden is going to be onto the verge of getting out of Trinity as well, and that is bad. But the kick though,
the way of the dragon as well as the feathered airstrike being used up at the same time, and Unseen will fall along with Riza, even definitely melting them. Manchakra is still online,
oh wow,
and the Purify will not be enough to save him in that situation. And Team Peak, once again, they are moving forward. The whole blessing, they're trying their best to protect it, but the Phobius definitely goes knocked in, and Eden gets a killing spree, so they gave away a member and the Moscow's Purify in exchange for that heavenly blessing, which is definitely not the best of decisions we want to see. And this time around, the Moscow go. This time Marco and Eden can even try to kill them. Nope, you can't. They're way too much of a farm.
Okay.
The feathered airstrike, which gets the shotgun and a double kill for She there. But then the Manchakra lands on 2, and he's gonna find 2 as well. Again, a 3-4-2 trade in favor of Team Peak.
Oh, this is such a good damage coming through from Harbin already, and of course you know that when you are able to get out the BOD under the 7 minutes of the game, this is a very, very well farmed Yisensin, and of course 7k gold is one he has been free farming for the entire time. But look at that stream, oh my goodness, that was so close, almost able to get something out of that. If Harbin wasn't that much fed, I think he could have been assured that there. And there's also one factor that in this game the Yisensin can really get away even without building out the War X, because he can go for the full damage, and yeah, that's already gonna be enough because one swipe of his passive, and that's already a good damage that he can deal onto the ultimate as well. But one thing's for sure, that Savage Warrior is going for a very interesting kind of build lightning. But look at the kick though.
Yep, the dragon doing its work already. That's the power of the chill and the carry at the same time.
Oh.
Gonna get taken down by Cloveria, and finally a kill for the Moscow, but he will fall down immediately. The kill will be taken. Riza trying to immune all those stuns coming in his way, but he can't really do anything. Oh, Savage Warrior, he did flicker in, so that's one mistake possibly, but I guess there isn't really that much of a dive potential from the side of Team Leaf Esports, because most of their spells are used up and are leveled and have the flicker anyway.
Yeah, that's the finals last is gonna be the only threat for the backline that's coming through from the side of Peak here, and I don't think the finals last has been landing onto them most of the time, and even if it did, there's no insta burst that can delete them instantly, and that is gonna be so good for the side of Peak. Now they have all the goal lead that they require, so at this point of the time, the 9k goal lead they were already able to accumulate is gonna be sufficient for them to be able to to end the game into the into second Lord, I presume, because now I think they might eventually want to focus onto the inhibitor first and get all this discipline right and get back to when you don't have anything to take on time.
Exactly, so now the Lord is coming charging down the lane, and all of the sides are properly synced as of right now. So I'm really taking some damage though. I mean, he's back off quite a bit, but the Pope is definitely jumping in, doing his work. The damage has been dealt. Members of Leaf Esports will be forced to back off the base. The Moscow trying his best to sustain it, but the shots from the Yisun Shin hurt so much right now. And I mean, we immediately secure those kills. Alan going on to the backside trying to get the kills, but Mommy gets double, and Rita gets a double as well. So now it's a 2 versus 3, and I guess Peak Esports should decide to back off.
Yeah, they could have backed off earlier than that because they could have focused onto the bottom lane inhibitor yet again. But given the fact that they have already have a good and massive amount of gold into their favor, they must have thought that it's gonna be definitely okay. Oh wow, damage though. What?
But now that's over aggressive. But holy, how is he doing that? I have absolutely no idea. It's the killing spree, man. That emblem is just so clutchy every single time, and then he has doesn't even have the war axe. It's just the battle. Wow, that's an insane amount of spellbound, I would say.
Yeah, without the War Axe that too, and I think it has something to do with the amount of farm that he already have, and also it's definitely safe to say that he can go for the full damage here. I think this could be definite end though.
Yep, definitely. Layer Planning comes in along with the base being turned down by the members of Team Peak, but Leaf Esports are trying their best to try and secure it.
Oh,
the shutdown yeah, shutdown at the cost of what? Losing your gold laner? I mean, jungler with a massive bounty onto him. Fair decision making. I think it's going to defend your base because you do not have that kind of wave clear except for the Moscow, and then there's 4 members trying to charge in and near the base standing at 1 HP. Carrie doing her best to try and mark the base, and it's not just going to come in. Trying to get the base though.
Oh.
Yeah, no.
What? They defended? How can they do this?
Insane. Just crazy things.
Yeah, the rank things. I think Peak, they kind of underestimated the clearance coming through from the far side as well as the Lancelot together. Even without the presence of the Moscow, they were able to do so because of the perfect timing. They were able to execute too. But I would like if this Peak have the a chance to focus onto the bottom lane inhibitor first and try to dive in without mindlessly going in and out. But then again, of course, who cares if they have the Lord now? This Lord should be able to make them end the game unless they decided to make a chaotic fight, because onto the Lord, when you have your Lord onto your side and have a good push with the minions as well, you cannot go for the chaos. You need to be calculative.
Exactly so, and now we see the minions charging down the bot lane, and nobody's even defending it. Oh no, the pickup line is slash.
Nice.
Uses up another shocker as well as the Ninja Champion. The Lancelot misses up the majority of his kills there. Doesn't have everything is on cooldown. The non-common can just burst people down. The base is still being hit down by these people. Carrie, you can just base for that. Yep, it's down there. And he gets double. She gets quickly, and he gets a killing spree of the Clovarian. That's up near White Hot for 17 feet to secure game 2. So that's going to be
Oh, that's definitely big, and it's a big move coming into it from the side of Peak here. They were taking their time to try to end the game because they could have done it into the first side as well if they had been a little bit decisive on where they were focusing on, just trying to get and brute force their way into the team fights wasn't really the best case scenario. But this is gonna be the equalizer that we are gonna be seeing right now. A very well farmed 13k goal Huamin onto the Yisun. I'm pretty sure the third game we could see a Yisun being banned away, but before we get into that, I'm pretty sure we'll be going for the break, and yeah, we'll be coming back for the third one. now that we are talking about this time around, we're going to be heading into the drafting phase for game number 3. Peak, they will be having the first pick, and Leaf, they will be having the second pick. And look at that, insta ban onto the Eve.
Exactly. So I think they've had their fair share of being, tortured by Eve in the late game. And tonight they do not really want to face any of that again. And neither do they want to pick it up for themselves because they know that an Esmeralda and a Farsa can be a pretty good counter for the Eve when she cuts the RWM. But along with that, because he's a Sora band, that's not really necessary to ban out a Sora, but
Yeah.
it's fine because of the fact that right now, Peak, they can just take out the Grok and Hilda, and that is going to open up quite a lot of options for themselves to possibly go in for the Kalia pick just for themselves, or the Garukacha, or even the Cho like they did in the previous game.
Yep, the throw was completely important to the side for the Son of Peak there into the early part of the game where the clearance was much better. And now that I think about it, they do have a very flexible picks onto whatever heroes that they want, so it's okay definitely to remove out some of the metas that they don't want to play. The Grok taken away. The Zucian always has to go actually, because this is such a good hero for the blue side, of course. Whenever it's into the first pick as well, it has been able to find so many good win rates too. But now Peak, they can bend away another hero here. So for the side of Leaf, I think they are also comfortable onto the Leomar, if I'm not surprised. But I think Riza does play the Frighten and the Baxia, so if they want to go onto the line of the utility, they can bend it away.
That's exactly what you either take out the Baxia or
Mhm.
okay, yeah, they
Oh,
they
Arlon, okay.
they just realized the fact that Sar has been spamming the Arlor for like
Uh-huh.
5 games straight
5
since
games.
yesterday. Yep, and
Yeah.
now it's finally gone.
Good ban. I would say they just want to remove out a comfortable hero for Sar. And but the thing about the Snyder of Leave is that they have 2 heroes to ban away. They either ban out the Kalea or the Hilda, but if they want to let it go, they can ban a completely different hero. Okay, this is what I was talking about after the first game. The Yi Sun should be removed from the side of Leaf. So now it's gonna be the decision coming through from the side of Peak here. Either they wanna go the Hilda or the Kalea, or try to let Leaf decide upon those two and pick a completely different hero, because the Yuzong is still available.
That's what the Yuzhong is also a very valid choice already, but then that would mean also giving away the Esmeralda or the Lapu Lapu to the side of Team Leaf Esports, and that isn't the best of situations for the mid lane or the gold lane. Instead, they could really just lock in onto the Hilda. Yeah, the Hilda
Okay.
or the Killia. That's gonna be the most valid choice in this draft, honestly.
So they don't want the Kalea. Okay, so now that means that I would love if Leaf can do the Kalea and the carry combination. Yeah, they should. Okay, never mind. They wanna go for the priority onto the Leomord. Okay. There's no reason for them to pick up the roam here right now. They can go for the third one. Actually, very good. But like we already know, the Farsa has always been a favorite for the side of Savage Warrior, and it's a very good hero against the carry as well. If he wants to go for it, he can. He can actually go for it too. But mm, is the clock not valid anymore? Because I don't see the teams picking it away.
It's valid, alright. You just need to be good with it, and I guess it's a matter of comfort as well, because the
Mhm.
Claude had been in meta for like 3 weeks during the duration of M7. Yeah, you mentioned it and
Mm.
it's here. It's still a valid pick against the carry, but the problem is by the time the players got comfortable with the Claude, the DHS got nerfed, and then now the carry is just a slightly better pick because of her true damage passive.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's gonna be the first orders for the direct counter into the carry. And the Minotaur, I've never been a fan of the Minotaur against the Hilda, just because it doesn't really have that early game tankiness that some heroes have. It would have been a good combination with the Kalea too, but it's definitely a good heal into the later part of the game. It can really come in handy. But when you have a Minotaur into the room, you might eventually have a good dominator into the XP lane side, so they can really focus a bit onto that. But now they might focus onto the jungle here. The Joy gone again. What could be a hero that can be removed here? XP laners, right? So a tanky one. Even the mazes are also still there. Zetian? I don't think so. Wait, they need a good
Zacian,
winning mid, right?
I mean, the Zacian could actually work in this draft, for the side of Leaf, so it's a very valid ban choice for the side of TP. But except for the Zacian, they could take out the Dragon. The Kadita, not really necessary in this case. Both of them could just pick up Purify and run away.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Zacian would have been a much worse thing because the Farsa ultimate was gonna be cancelled every single time. Plus, with the Minotaur using up the Minoan Fury and then the Weird
Mm.
Phoenix all at the same time, that's not gonna be a good situation. Team Leaf Esports though, the Joy and the Hayabusa definitely a good choice. Ban out on those nasty assassins. The Fredrin cannot be picked up as carry and a Minotaur at the same time. So what exactly can Huamin go for here with the Ascension on the board as well? 3 jungle bans. The Lancelot is one of the only choices left, but against the Leomord, Lancelot is just weak.
Yeah, you could go for the Fanny. That's a direct, a good one. At least the Fanny does have a really great time against the Leon in comparison to other assassins. So yeah, the Yuzong ban that we were talking about, so they don't want to pick up the Yuzong, instead it's going to be banned away here. Sour, I want to know what is going to be coming up with, but this time around they need to pick out their mage, because I feel like for Leaf they should pick out their mage here and try to see what the jungle is going to be for the side of Peak and the XP lane, and try to counter with another of their own, because there are a lot of jungles, I mean XP lane is still available, right? The Uranus is also there, the first the Esmeralda is still out there if they want to go for it. But what is going to be a good mate here? Because I don't see any combination except for the Zetian.
But the Yuzhong is taken out. That's also a very valid choice, honestly.
Yeah.
Yuzhong is just one of those so broken, but
Wow.
that means, yeah, exactly. They're giving away the Lapu. Yeah, and Huamin is going to walk in onto the Fanny. Definitely
Yeah.
very good pick here because there isn't really that many knockups that can reach the Fanny while she's using up the steel cables. And then Team Peak, they really just need their XP laner to complete their draft set for now. And what could they pick up? Oh, the Esmeralda is still open, so
Yeah.
they could go in for the Esmeralda quite easily. Works against the Leomord and the carry up until the 8-minute mark, because no carry gets her DHS before 8 minutes. So, and against the Lapu especially well. So, yeah, definitely the Esmeralda is one of the best choices here.
Yeah, they can just directly lock onto that. This is not really a good choice because there's no way. There's no way. Okay. They're trolling.
Okay. What? What?
They're trolling.
Why the heck?
They just want to have a experiment, dare I say. So yeah, let them experiment. Let no one have the experiment, because this time around I think it's gonna be into the hands of the mage. Where which mage is gonna be good here, man? I don't know. Any mage is very vulnerable to the Fanny, except for the Kadita, of course, and the Kadita is already bent away. Or maybe, they want to go for a classic style. The Valentina can also work here, but there's no big ultimate that she can take except for the airstrike, of course. That's the only way that they will be able to have her sustain into the mid lane side, but Cyclops still.
Okay.
Okay, a debut pick for late game, no?
Yeah, definitely. Like after the book and the concentrated energy, that thing is half a fighter already. And like what? There's not even that kind of a counter for Cyclops here because despite
Yeah.
there being a Cho or the Hilda, the Cyclops can actually manage to sustain everything once he picks up on the brute force, so no proper burst either. So definitely it's
Okay.
like one of those comfort picks for T as well, I believe.
Definitely, but I do not see the combination with the Minotaur, but we'll have to see. We'll have to see how it works. But this time around, I do think that it might be a Hilda XP lane. So it's gonna be a Hilda versus Lapu Lapu, so which means that they're gonna be trying to focus on who have the better rotation. Of course, the Hilda's gonna be having the faster rotation because of the sprint, and of course the movement speed that we have onto the grasses. So that's what they really want to focus on. But Kitty, I think, is really comfortable onto that show that is picked it twice onto the game already.
I mean, welcome to the land of dawn, ladies and gentlemen, where we have a Cyclops being picked up into the semifinals, and that's gonna be a very interesting situation to watch out for. He needs a little bit of time to scale, but once he does, he is one of the very annoying heroes, especially against the Fanny, because those ultimates have like a 3-second cooldown with all the CD reduction. So yeah, good luck to the side of Team Peak if they want to counter that Cyclops. As for now, we can see comfortably well that these teams are doing the job of invading the jungle. One and definitely doing a comfort here, but this is not going to happen. Farsight is there for the backup, but Vixen is just gonna be pulling that off push.
They're just dealing out onto the blue buff tape with the Leomort here. Riza will be actually delayed. But I think it's going to be a good for Huamin to just try to get on his blue on buff so that he'll be able to at least have a lead. But nevertheless, that's going to be a knockoff coming through from Unseen here. He's still trying to get a chase. And he did not get it. That was a waste of time actually, Mr. Huamin. So now he doesn't have the retribution, so it's going to be a lot of movement faster rotation coming through from the side of Riza. Is able to get out onto the Lisa Wanderer as well, so he'll be able to clear out the crits faster than usual. So they might focus onto the top lane though.
The focus for the side of Team Leaf Esports somehow. Even in the previous game, they were focusing the focus quite a lot. But we'll have to see how it works out for them in this game, because they've got a Fanny to watch out for, and the Fanny can actually go in for the pickoffs into the early phase, and an early Fanny snowball means your team is going to have a much easier time. The only issue is Team Peak lacks the late game sustain, because they've got a Hilda into their hands, and a Hilda on the EXP is not that good as you would want it to be. Oh no, Warrior needs to flicker out of the situation. Sarah's gonna go the flicker, and that's gonna be an easy first blood. It was an obvious positioning though. I do not know why he walked in that much.
That was a bit too late here, Rizardo.
Yep, definitely secures that turtle. And like I mentioned, sustain issue, no one is gonna get picked off right there. Went in too deep unnecessarily, and not the best positions, definitely.
Covarian though, he's half the flicker away, so there's no kick yet for the side of Kitty, so they are, he kind of wasted out onto it, but it was a better save than sorry move coming through from the side of Clavarian, and I think he already has a bit more farmer in comparison to Eden Hager here, because of course he is the one who will get the turtle. His team is the one who got the turtle, so it's gonna be time. Look at that though. What?
In the world indeed, and look at Riza already going in for those engages. Oh no, why would the choke come back like that?
Oh no. I think they must have been a short circuit under the brain, but nevertheless there might be something.
Yeah, definitely look pretty engaged on C. The immobilize did work on Duamin, but no one was there. I think the Fury Hammer is working quite well for that Hilda, and he was able to secure the kill onto She. A pickoff that was needed, but then again, how much can they really do with one pickoff is a question here, because Carrie is getting farmed, the Leomord is getting farmed. Yeah, that's a good pickoff. Oh no, good interrupt from Unseen, but unfortunately, the damage from the turret and the feather airstrike is just a little too much for Clavarian to handle.
It was such a smooth sailing of away of the dragon coming through from the side of Kitty, of course. But then again, the goal is equalized. Even though for the side of Peak they have been losing members here and there, they are still able to equalize onto the goal, which is a very, very good sign for them right now. But Unseen without the minion Fury will have to be very, very careful. He don't want to waste it on just one person, because he's going to be needing with the heal as well. But this time around, the turtle rather is already up. Phantom Steed though.
Fanny comes in with the seal cables, definitely get the cut thrown on to Hunt. So that's a very good early engage coming in already. Eden is getting chunked down quite a lot by the carry somehow. Maybe it's just a little bit of that emblem gap coming in. And going for an engage up from the backside, unnecessary I would say, because that turtle should be a pretty easy secure for the side of Team Peak here. They did get that pick off, and that's gonna allow them to find the second turtle of the game already.
Yeah, they are trying to go for the kick here. Look at that though.
Yeah, definitely the way of the dragon hit correctly, but now Sar, he oh, he almost stayed against 3 people, even cancelled Savage Warriors Wings by Wings. But unfortunately, the damage was just a little too much from the side of Peak for him to handle, which means that Sar got taken down immediately. And now Team Leaf Esports have to deal with the wrath of the Featherhead Strike and Unseen. I think it's gonna get taken out. Yeah, that's gonna be an easy security. She tried to get the pick off there, but yeah, no damage yet from the Cyclops.
Yep, they are just kind of waiting for a bit. If for C, he needs to have that skill up, right? So if he gets the item in the perfect timing, he will be able to do it. But on this time around, I think Peak does have really good engages here, but they will not be successful in taking out the turret though. For good Ventus taken me to from Riza, but how long will they be able to? Will they be able to defend onto the turret here? It's gonna be falling time, falling down very easily though. But onto the other side, there might be a take onto the turret immediately is what they really want to focus on yet again. But everywhere where the pick has been able to have a good lead now, they are turning the events here. Even if you have thought that the Leomord of Snowball could have been happening here, Hwamin has been so good in just stealing all the good farms that he's required, even though he did lose out into the early stages of the game now. He's got the ways to equalize onto the goal, and that Snowball has been completely denied, and now Peak. They are several into the lead though.
Definitely can see them break out again. Sar with the flicker. His flickers are so on point, but onto the backside, Eden is gonna find carry immediately. Sar being kicked under the turret. He can't move out. His setups are so on point, but his team is just so focused on the other side of the map. So far, so good though. This was actually a 2-4-2 trade, so I guess that sacrifice wasn't the vain after all.
Yeah, that was actually a good, a good one. But now 2 is down for 1 for Sar. Of course, this might eventually be a little bit of a comeback for the side of Leaf. They are 2 get behind onto the goal, and if they are gonna be able to reach out onto the time onto the goal that Peak has already accumulated, it could have they will have to take onto this turtle. But if they get taken down while taking this all, it's not good. But look at that door kick.
Again, the initiation coming in from Cho, and they will instantly find Unseen into that fight, which means one front line gone for the side of Leaf Esports. And now TP can find the third turtle of the game pretty easily once again, which means strengthening their lead even more. 2,000 gold already, now moving towards a 3,000 nearly. But for now, they just need to watch out for those SAR stuns which are coming in every now and then. And Clovarian needs to work on his positioning a bit because he is getting picked up every now and then. And even the far side is actually just one of those very proper counters for the carry, like you were mentioning. So definitely, look at the Fanny, he's trying to go in for something, but I think he's just going to have to be satisfied with the buff that's going to take him in. And Fury though lands on one. That's going to be an easy pick off onto Kitty right away.
Yep, that was actually amazingly well done with the Mina and Fury as well. But this time around, Humin though, it's trying to find something up here, but they are so tanky with the heals that they have with the Minotaur as well. But now I think Riza is able to get onto the Hunter Strike, so a bit of a damage and a penetration too, and a advantage onto the movement speed as well. That is going to be giving him a lot of time and a lot of damage here, but no one. He's just hiding there without getting spotted out. I think for Peak, they can go engage. Look at that.
Going in for the fight from over and over to see the cables. That's late. I don't know why he used it once the Fanny backed up. Good bait coming in by Flamin, but now no one is going to be caught out. She gets the killing spree. That is not good. You do not want to give the Cyclops a killing spree at the 9-minute mark because he's just going to be melting you from here on, and that's exactly what he is doing this time around. Look at that, the Leaf is coming in. Reposition comes in, and Team Leaf Esports need to back up a little bit because Peak is gaining momentum once again. Kitty tried to go in for the kick, and Sar managing to 1 HP. That cutthroat, he doesn't have the lethal ignition exactly. That's why it didn't manage to get that finishing hit onto Sar.
I think if it was any other hero, it could have been a dead mid there, but it was a Lapu, man. The Lapu doesn't really die just like that. He's a brilliant fighter after all. He's always going to be surviving with that 1 HP of his. And this time around, I think Sarah has been doing much better than he was on the Arnold, so I'm pretty sure that the Lapu Lapu will be more important for them if they have had time. But now I think the Lord will be into the hands of Peak again. No contest whatsoever coming to it for the side of Leaf here. They just want to get onto the Lord, try to get out all of those outer turrets here, and yeah, be very disciplined too. But look at the damage coming through from Eden already. I think he does have the Trinity as well as the penetration too, which is quite necessary. And this time around, they are gonna have to be very careful. But look at the stun.
So he did try vertically engage, missed one, but then the Lapu
Oh.
immediately by the Claude. That's one advantage, but
Okay.
now he got knocked up from the Mirror Fury, and he will be the one falling down. 2-for-1 trade this time in favor of Leaf Esports, and the Lord would also be given away. Like, that was engage a little bit too early. They should have let the Lord hit first. But I guess the death timers are small enough, and they will be back before the Lord hits the inhibitors.
Yeah, I think we were talking about the carefulness, but then again, Peak, they decided to throw just a little bit. Not the best case scenario, and I think it's still good for them here because they can be alive on time before the Lord eventually goes into the inhibitors as well. They can definitely take into the mid lane side if they are able to do so, because that is going to be the only outer turret that's still standing for the side of Leaf here. But looking at the build so far, still only the glowing one into the hands of She here. Not in much of a damage. He's going to be needing the concentrated as well as the genius one if necessary, but he is still so far behind. He doesn't have the money for that.
And honestly, the steel cable everything so perfectly on point. Katie just pushed Star back into safety range, but I guess that was just a warning shot being fired, because I guess the Minnow and Fury was also used up, so nobody could really jump into that zone. The heavenly blessings, if they are gone from the turret, steel cables, the woman just styling on them quite a bit, and somehow I guess he isn't gonna get any kills for now, and they just gotta play safe.
Yep, concentrated already built away by She, so that's gonna be a very tanky Cyclops that we were talking about here. One more Genius one, or maybe a Holy Crystal is gonna be necessary for him to deal that much amount of damage. And the problem about the Cyclops is that you kind of need at least full damage to beat that main damage dealer. No matter what the situation is gonna be, you have to hold it on. And the clearance is always good with the balls that he have around him, so they can play for this hero instead. But onto the other side, Riza already gotten the Sea Halberd here, so he's gonna go full on damage and a little bit of a sustain just because of the NT heal that can come through with them right now. But the question is though, how long can they hold on? Because it's kind of looking bleak for them. The inhibitors are the only ones standing here, and the Lord is gonna be up in less than 20 seconds again.
That's what again, the inventory comes in, Kitty is taking out the damages until it actually possibly can. And right now, she just decides to back off by using her flicker. So that's one resource being used up before the Lord. Maybe it could affect the Lord fight if Team Leaf Esports decides to contest, which I guess, judging from their position, they will. Because they realize that the Joe doesn't have a flicker, so which means that oh no! Good, definitely a very good engage coming in from the side of Leaf Esports. That immobilized, and the damage from Pulverian was enough to finish off the Claude. Definitely a very bad decision coming in from Team Peak, and now Kitty missing her knockup. Rita trying to find Wamin in the middle of everything. Kitty gets the stun onto Rita, but too early. Wamin sealed it away. He walked in with the steel cable into that bush in front of Riza, and I have absolutely no idea why I did not check that bush. And now Leaf Esports, they can march forward with the grab they have right now, but Wamin is there, gonna be hitting those steel cables every now and then. The carry can just push forward with the inhibitors, but they've got to back up because the Lord will be spawning right away.
And he's gonna be needing that blue buff as well, but oh wait, oh god, that was close. He wasn't able to get the blue buff. At least he survived it, right? So that's definitely gonna be a plus point for the side of Peak right now. But amazingly well done. They did throw it, but they also managed to save it. Yeah, that was all respect for defending right here. I think he's got the brute force as well, so that must be the only reason why he was able to survive onto that too. But this time around, I felt that it's gonna be Eden who has to be careful. Look at him go in.
He's
Oh.
Yep, that's the shutdown Ramen needed. And he got it. Now the Lord has been defended though by the side of Team Leaf Esports, and I guess for now they should be able to defend except for the inhibitor being taken down.
Oh.
Oh no, never mind. Unseen gets melted down by the Claude right away. That's gonna say third inhibitor trying to be taken down by the side of Team Peak. There's no proper wave control for the side of Leaf Esports as well, except for the carry, you know, and their mate is dead too. So Claude can pretty much just free hit inside the base, and that's exactly what he is doing. Way too much region, way too much of like sustained the win time this time around. No more mistakes inside of the Team Peak. The wave pressure will be on now that the inhibitors are gone, so they can just wait up for the last round of the game.
Yep, that was a good change up onto the Winter Truncheon as well with the Wind of Nature. So he was able to get there on time, but I feel like Riza was a little bit too tanky for him to take it out. If Riza died there, it could have been a very sure death end of the game, I presume. But this is going to be a bit slow for the side of Peak now. They can clear out onto the long lanes and try to set up a good way for their side so that they'll be able to have a good start onto this Lord. And this Lord should be contested here because for the side of Team Leaf Esports, whether they contest this or not, it could be a good end for the side of Peak, so they can take the risk right now, find a one pick off if they can, because right now Eden, he's just being teasing everyone with the positioning that he have with the BMI. Of course, there's a cause, of course. He's gonna be always teasing it out, but this time around I feel like Peak, they have a very different synergy. They're very different decision onto their side. They are not starting directly onto the Lord here.
That's exactly what, and you know what? Oh my god, the spam from the Fanny onto that Minotaur, just forcing him back to base right away, even as a tank. So I guess that's what happens when you give a Fanny user his Fanny.
Yeah.
Never give a Fanny user his Fanny. So I guess lessons learned for the side of Leaf Esports. They did win out of the first game. We aren't exactly aware what happened, but yeah, they did. And for now, Team Peak, they have won the second game. Second game is a complete domination from their side. At least this game, Leaf Esports are getting those kills. So I guess the Lord will be baited out before Team Leaf Esports just have to contest. Woman in a good positioning though, he's taking advantage of the fight that's breaking out up top. Really gets well down at the Lord. He will get everything. He's still in the fight.
Oh
no, Hilda is going for Bavarian. That's a full-on 4-man engage. Woman definitely trying to mark the base. He's bought the attack speed items as well, but the last minion, it didn't enter the base. He's taking the hit. So damn unfortunate for Wamin in that situation. Savage Warrior left to fight a Farsa all by himself. And oh my god, how is he still alive? I am questioning my life choices
what?
right here. What in the world, Sarah? You have been disowned by us, and but it's okay, fine. It's fine. You have been doing an amazing job so far in this game, and now I guess Leaf Esports should be able to secure that power pretty easily.
You know, the fact that Pete could have went for the classic Lord take, you know, and wait for the Wolf Lord to come through, and I feel like they were actually waiting for 20 seconds for the Lord to come through, the Wolf one to come through again. They could have just stick to the original plan. Why try to make for the fights and just get for the split push potential when you can really end it good with the Lord take here? But nevertheless, I think it was more of the side of Leaf Esports having the better setup for themselves onto the other side, but never mind, look at the stun.
Can see the engage coming in a little bit right now, and the Savage Warrior did get stunned, but he has given his 5 wings to escape right away. Woman is actually trying to go in for that split push every single time. No one is going to scout the enemies somehow, but the problem is that Team Peak, they need to defend this Lord, and Wamin is going in for an amazing level of split push and wave. They are so far away, which means that Team Peak will be distracted. We cannot be too close to the Lord. The Martin will carry this side. Yeah, he's secure, but no one, he can really escape though, he's the question. And Claude gets taken out as well.
Wow.
You know, in the Fury. Kitty is getting marked down. Immortality is still online, and it feels like it's Wamin against the world. The way he has been using of those steel cables to maneuver around the map so much.
There was I think Eden could have been very careful onto the positioning that he have right now, but he's been constantly getting taken down, and that kind of caused a lot of drags onto this game so far. Already 20 minutes of the game, and you don't want your marksman to be dead anytime soon, because this time around he's already okay. That's a good steal onto the blue buff there. Hamin will be able to feel energetic right now that he have the blue buff. He can go on to She here, but the problem with She is that he's already so tanky with the Cyclops, and he's got a decent amount of damage to deal, and of course the spell vamp also with the Cyclops concentrated and the brute force together. Yeah, he's not gonna be getting picked off by Hermit anytime soon, but it felt like peak. Oh, never mind, they get engaged though.
Fight it out. She gets the kill onto no one. That's the problem I told you. Against the Cyclops, you cannot really sustain with that Hilda as your frontliner. Hilda is just so immobile in the late game, literally no use, and you cannot even pick the marksman or the mage up because they will be having their win chance and immortalities or whatever. Kitty wasted that kick. This is going to be a major game changer because it's over now. The ultimate is like a sitting duck on the side of Leaf Esports to just take it away. Yeah, but unseen. Good job. Just repeated Kitty's mistake. Well done using it just gives Wamin the free access to the Lord, but nah. Too early. Leomar this time will win away the retribution.
He was just too careful. It's kind of a free way for the steel cables to come through, but yep, I think he was a little bit further with the Lord, and he just panicked, pressed the retribution right there. But it could have been another game saver for the side of Peaky if he was able to get a Lord again. But this time around, I think all of the members for the side of Leaf Esports has already scaled up. Immortality for Claverian, of course, that's what's necessary, because of course gonna have to survive. It's already 21 minutes of the game, going 22, but Huamin though has got to be careful. Have the cables. Oh, that was beautiful.
He's just so good on the fanny. He's still at 0 deaths despite so many knockups and stuns coming his way, but unfortunately the rest of the team hasn't been able to keep up as much as they would have liked to. So technically this low defend is one of the points of this game. If they can defend it, it'll be all good. And right now he's again going in for wave clear on the top side, but 1 minion is gonna have its way away. No one definitely is taking his fair share of damage. Wamin recalls on spot because he realizes that there's no wave clear other than him and the Claude right there. The power sub is losing up a bit of airstrike right away. Minan Fury onto 4 people right at the base, and Bavarian has the burst this time around. Wamin is finally shut down. Gets the double onto no one, gets the triple onto Kitty. She gets Eden, and that's going to be a wipeout for the side of Leaf Esports. Game 1 in their hands, and they gave away the Fanny as a bait, and this time around they will be finding their spot in the grand finals.
And the first team to reach out the grand finals here, but Peak will be moving down onto the level 1 where they'll be fighting for the 3rd place. But oh well, what a game it was. A game of throws, I would say. A lot of throws being done by Eden most of the time, I would say. He's been getting caught most of the